Good afternoon. This past January, over 33 million people watched the Ohio State Buckeyes take on the Oregon Ducks for the NCAA football championship in Arlington, Texas. It was the highest audience ever to watch the game, according to USA Today. This huge audience is indicative of the explosion in popularity of college sports. In 2013, NCAA grossed over $3 billion in revenue, a similar figure to that of the NBA and that of the NHL. This is a huge change from the principles of which college athletics was founded. This has created a chasm between the NCAA and the universities and the athletes, who do not profit at all. Steve Seibold writes, "It is a flawed equation because everyone wins except for the people responsible for it all." As an avid college sports fan, this issue has been of particular interest to me for quite some time. Through my research, I have learned even more about the many ways in which the NCAA exploits college athletes. With this in mind, given the current structure of Division I football and basketball, the NCAA should make an immediate change to the collegiate system in which the athletes are compensated fairly for their efforts. Today, I would like to describe the many issues that have arisen since the beginning of college football and basketball. I will then describe the steps needed to fix these problems. Finally, I will illustrate these changes will improve the collegiate athletic system. I will start by describing several situations that illustrate the need for change in the collegiate system. Before he played in the 2014 NCAA Basketball National Championship game, Shabazz Napier sounded off. The game cost an average of $500 per ticket, and it culminated and it ended in a conclusion of the March Madness tournament, which grossed the NCAA over $800 million. Napier said the strict enforcement of the player's amateur status had resulted in many days in which he was unable to eat. Sometimes there are hungry nights where I'm not able to eat, but I still got to play to my capabilities, he said. Now, how is it that in a billion-dollar enterprise in which coaches, universities, and NCAA officials are compensated with millions of dollars, the very student athletes responsible for the labor creating this revenue do not get paid at all and are struggling to find food? Another situation that demonstrated the need for a change is that of Kyle Handrick. Handrick was an exceptional basketball player and received a full-ride scholarship to play at the University of Oklahoma. However, following an injury his freshman season, he lost that scholarship and subsequently struggled to pay for the medical bills and was forced to drop out of school. Now, after hearing situations like these, it's hard to even argue that these players aren't compensated. However, the NCAA will say that these are student athletes and that providing these athletes with compensation would destroy the foundation of college sports. While this may sound well and good, according to Forbes magazine, the term student athlete has become flawed as of late, saying that the typical Division I college football player spends 43.3 hours a week on the field. That's 3.3 hours more than the average American work week. Former Northwestern quarterback Kate Coulter, in Mark Guarino's article, said that when he was on the field, he was there for 60 hours a week, and he said, in a quote, that we're brought to the school to play football. Adding even more credibility to this notion of employment is Alan Sachs' article when he says, participation in big-time college sports has become virtually indistinguishable from full-time employment. In addition to being unfair, several experts have claimed the NCAA's practices are borderline illegal when it comes to labor laws in the United States. For a long time, Mark Guarino writes, the NCAA has avoided trying to deal with the fact that in a highly revenuized enterprise, the only one not making the money are the people that actually provide the work. The NCAA has all the ingredients necessary for a major corporation, other than the fact that the employees are not paid. I would now like to explain how this problem could be reconciled in the future. Given the nature of collegiate athletics, it is difficult to reach a completely level playing field between the owners and the players. However, it is appropriate to reduce the monopoly power the NCAA currently holds over the student athletes. Similar to the course of professional sports, where Alan Sanderson writes, professional team owners initially had total monopoly power over players, a comparable change can occur in the collegiate realm. An appropriate starting point in creating positive changes will be to provide these players with a compensation of $2,000 a month per se. Such compensation can be administered through the institution who could regulate the enterprise. In addition, negotiations can be made to implement a sort of a healthcare system for these players in the event of injuries like Kyle Hendricks. The benefits of this proposed revision, which I will outline next, will improve college sports image. NCAA rules prevent student athletes from receiving money, transportation, or any extra benefit or expense allowance not authorized by NCAA legislation. As you might expect, such rules can be extremely nuanced, evidenced by the rule manual comprising over 400 pages that they are given upon freshman year when they come into the college. As Harry Brunis mentions in his article, the benefits of such reform would also quell some of the current abuses within the system, like the surreptitious payments of players. Another benefit of the proposed changes would be to stop unfair occurrences such as Kyle Hendricks incidents at the University of Oklahoma. No longer would injured players be subjected to the type of harm that he was subjected to, and not being able to pay medical bills and having to drop out of school because of the financial concerns he had faced. Finally, the changes proposed would eliminate situations like Shabazz Napier's, where he was unable to eat in several scenarios as a college student. It is difficult to enjoy the sensational product that is Division I college basketball and football after hearing stories such as this. It is with this in mind that we can all look forward to the day when the necessary changes are made. After the presentation, it is my sincere hope that the NCAA officials listening think hard and long about the principles that currently make up the NCAA system. There are currently several legal pursuits levied against the NCAA with similar aims. I urge the NCAA officials to observe these cases with watchful eye and evaluate their validity from an unbiased perspective. If you truly view the system for what it is my belief that it is impossible for you to see it without seeing the inequities there for the eye to see, which athletes are responsible for. I urge you to handle these inequities with care and do what is right for these athletes because it is simply the right thing to do. Thank you very much.